Welcome. This is the seminar on energy security with Global Utmaning and Finland Institute. And with me here I have two experts from Finland and Sweden respectively. And my first question to you guys are, what is the triple challenge that we're facing when it comes to energy, sustainability, ecological, and actually leading up to the economical challenge? So Mr. Riku Huttunen, what is the challenge we're seeing here?
The biggest challenge is, to me, to cut emissions. That's the biggest challenge, and we should find the sustainable way to do it.
And what would the sustainable way to do that be?
To say it very briefly, the answer is to get the markets work. Let the markets work, because now we have a lot of subsidies, we have a lot of regulation. We should cut that.
So your main point here is that we are not letting the market be the free market, and that is hindering us from transforming to a more ecological, sustainable energy system.
Yes, that's my point.
And what would you say, Mr. Brandsma?
Well, one of the key challenges that we have is to switch towards a more sustainable energy system while at the same time keeping our competitiveness. And competitiveness not only in Sweden, that's also regional in the Nordic area, but in particular also for Europe. Currently we have energy prices in Europe that are double that of the US and also Asia. So we need to find the key to making this sustainability switch, to working towards more climate-friendly, climate-neutral energy systems, while at the same time keeping our competitiveness up.
So when we're talking about competitiveness, we're talking about energy price, and at the same time some people will say that energy prices are too low in order to foster a transition to a more sustainable energy system. So what would happen if we increase the CO2 prices globally?
But the key is not only in the price of the wholesale price as such. The key is also in the competitiveness arena of the European industry. So that means CO2 prices need to be a global playing field, not only a European playing field, and hopefully we'll make some progress in the climate discussions in Paris next year. Then we would also need to look at what can we do to make our industry more efficient, create more effectiveness in the production processes and add value to the production processes, because we'll never be able to compare ourselves with the energy prices that we have in some parts of the world. So raw production is not only the key there.
So what would be the main challenge for the new European Commission? We're now having hearings regarding the Commission. So what is the top priority for the European Commission coming in?
From my part, it's to create an integrated European energy policy. We've talked about that a number of years ago. It didn't happen for a number of reasons. Let's try to make this work now, and maybe the Ukraine crisis will help us push that direction.
Yes, they should concentrate on the most critical issue, that's cutting emissions. We should cut emissions by 80% to 95% by 2050. That's a lot. We should trust the emissions trading system. Emissions should have a price, and we should create predictability for investments. That's the key.
Thank you very much. From taking the perspective a bit from globally to European, what would you say is the main differences when it comes to the energy situation in Finland, respectively Sweden?
We are closer to Russia.
Which means that your energy is more depending on your security policy circumstances than your ecological circumstances, or what is your...
We are buying a lot of energy products from Russia, but we are not so dependent of Russia as is the Central European region, for example. That's for sure, but energy trade has been a big component in our economic success as well. For example, for our oil companies, I'm sure that the trade will continue. But if you ask for the difference between Finland and Sweden, I think Russia is the biggest difference.
What would you say, and what could we do in order to make that dependence less from the Swedish perspective side, and what could be advantage between more flexibility when it comes to energy transition between Sweden and Finland?
From our side, the difference between Sweden and Finland, if I continue on the same thing, is we're closer to Europe. And I think we should benefit from that by making a better relationship between Finland and Sweden, making sure that we have a system that's integrated towards each other. So we can use distribution capacity between each other, storage capacity between each other, learn from each other's experiences in renewables and energy efficiency. I think there we have an issue where we could actually improve ourselves significantly. And that may be one of the keys for making you less dependent on Russia, but also Sweden closer into the Nordic regional cooperation, where we can't wait for a European integrated policy.
Thank you very much, and I think that's a perfect conclusion from this seminar in Sweden between Finlands Institutet and Global Utmaning. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.